Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Disrupt and Decentralize main event. I'm going to turn the call over to our CEO, Jonathan Budd, and our President, Jim Bunch. You are in for a fabulous event, so Jonathan, she's all yours.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, and welcome to everybody from around the country and likely even around the world. It is phenomenal to have you here tonight to bear witness to what we believe is one of the most important, meaningful, and potentially lucrative conversations that you ever may hear in your life. And we know that that's a bold claim, and as you stick with us over the next 20 to 30 minutes of this presentation, we're going to take you on a journey into one of the biggest trends that is unfolding across planet Earth right now. And we're going to show you how this macro trend is actually disrupting and decentralizing industry after industry after industry and transferring billions and billions of dollars from old models and old businesses and old industries to new models and new businesses and new industries. And we're going to show you whether you're looking for, extra income, or whether you're looking for more passion or more purpose, or whether you want to get out of a job you're in, or whether you're just entrepreneurial, you want to do something amazing with your life, if you want to be a part of a cool group of people, whatever it is, we're going to show you how you can actually participate in where this trend of disruption and decentralization is going next. And I promise you this is one of the most truly incredible chances that I think many of us will get in our lifetime to do something big, to do something bad, and to do something bold. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, the definition of disrupt means disorder, to destroy temporarily, to break apart, or my favorite, to radically change. The definition of decentralize means to distribute, to disperse, or to transfer authority from a central source to a local source. And what we're seeing all over the world right now is that this trend is disrupting old companies and industries and decentralizing that power or that authority and transferring it to a local source. And we're going to give you multiple examples right now that you're probably quite familiar of and show you how this is working. So the first industry we're going to look at is hospitality. Now, if you were to, rewind the clock to 1957, that's the year that Marriott was actually formed. And Marriott today is pretty much one of the most recognizable hotel brands and hospitality brands in the entire world, and they have a market cap of $19 billion. Now, you might have heard of another company recently called Airbnb. Well, Airbnb was founded in 2008, okay? So not 1957, but 2008. And they have a market cap of $30 billion. How does this company, founded in 2008, have a market cap, 70% bigger than the largest hospitality brand in the world in a span of, 6, 7, 8 years? And it gets crazier. Airbnb was actually founded by 3 guys who were too broke to pay rent, okay, living in San Francisco in 2008. And they got this insane idea to rent air mattresses out of their living room. And so, they build a website for it. People actually start buying air mattresses out of their living room because it was cheaper than hotels. And as crazy as it sounds, they were getting emails from people all over the world, London, Beirut, Buenos Aires, asking, when is this service going to be available in my city? And that was where the idea for Airbnb came from. Now, if you fast forward to today, Airbnb rents over 550,000 rooms a night, making it the largest hotel in the world. Here's what's amazing. There's no hotel. They don't own a single hotel. Airbnb empowered, through the sharing economy, people to make use of assets they already had, a room in their home or an extra house or an apartment or whatever it is, share that with others and get paid to do it. And in the process of doing this, they've transferred billions and billions and billions of dollars from the old centralized hospitality industry to a decentralized model where literally anyone can participate in the money and the wealth of hospitality just by sharing their room from an app on their phone. Okay, so that's the first example. I'm going to turn it over to our president, Jim Bunch, to cover the next one.
What's so cool about both of these examples, the first being Airbnb and the second being Uber, is that there is a technology that's introduced to the market that transforms or disrupts everything. So most people have either heard of or taken a ride with Uber, or maybe you've even driven for Uber before, but they disrupted and decentralized a taxi industry which has been around since the 17th century and was valued at $11 billion annually. Now, think about this. Something's been around since the 17th century. All of a sudden, a technology platform comes along, founded in 2009, and it completely transforms the industry in what feels like overnight. So what they did was they created a process that makes it simpler for somebody who wants a ride to connect with somebody who has a ride. Pretty much the same thing that Airbnb did. The platform connects somebody who wants to have a place to stay with somebody who has a place to stay. And what's so cool about both of these is through that technology, it's created an amazing marketplace. Uber now, since 2009, is raised $12.5 billion, and they're valued at $66 billion. They created a simpler, better process for people to get from one place to the other. And my friends, the coolest thing about this is that these companies were actually built by you and me. We're the ones who are introducing our friends and everybody that we know to this technology, and as a result, we are entering into this thing that we call the sharing economy. You see, we have amazing resources right at our fingertips now that we didn't 5, 10, 20 years ago. And every one of these companies that you see on your screen, whether you realize it or not, was actually built by you. Facebook, Pinterest, Uber, Airbnb, Instagram, Twitter, every single one of them required you to be built. But guess what? There's something bigger coming down the pipe.
If you look at every industry across the world today, whether it's services, which was disrupted and decentralized by Elance, Odesk, or formerly Elance, now called Upwork, or Etsy, which just created a marketplace that allows absolutely anyone to have an online store at the few clicks of a button, or Kickstarter, where you don't need an investment banker anymore if you want to, take a company to market or raise money or whatever it is. You just need an idea and a video, and the crowd all of a sudden shows up, and companies have raised 30, 40, 50 million dollars, or Uber or Airbnb, or the examples we've already given you. Every industry that you look at, we're seeing this trend of disruption and decentralization take place. Technology platforms are entering, which are allowing people to share things that they're already doing or already using, whatever it might be, and get paid to do it, and we're disrupting and decentralizing the largest industries in the world. The relevant question in everyone's mind needs to be, where is this going next? And my friends, as crazy as it sounds, the energy industry is the largest industry on the planet. $6 trillion per year is sold of energy products. $6 trillion per year. And up until right now, that has been an entirely centralized model. You buy your energy from a centralized utility. You buy your oil from a centralized, international energy company or oil company. And you've had absolutely no choice about that. But for the first time in history, you are about to have a choice, and you are about to have a chance to participate in disrupting and decentralizing the largest industry on the planet. And this is going to put all those other examples we just showed you to shame as trillions and trillions of dollars changes hands. Now, if you want to create a $1 trillion industry, you've got to solve a problem on a global scale that affects every human being. And with that statement, I'd like you to consider that as Jim takes us into where this is going next.
What's really cool is if you look at this trend, and you're going to see this pretty obviously here, is you go back to the 1950s, and I wasn't born in the 50s, I was a little after that, but our power grid that we powered the United States and of course much of the world was based on our requirements at that time. You needed lights, fridge, radio, and a black and white TV. But if you fast forward to today, you look at the modern home, look around at your house right now, you've got all of those things plugged in. Plus, you've got appliances, air conditioners, multiple computers, multiple iPhones, multiple iPads. But look at this. The next big trend that's happening, and all the reports show that the sales are increasing every single day, we're going to be plugging electric cars into that same grid that was built back in the 50s. So the simple reality is this. Our energy consumption is going up drastically, but our energy production hasn't changed for decades. We're still continuing to use the same thinking and the same methodologies that we used years and years ago, but our increase has gone over 400% as far as energy consumptions. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how are we powering our energy grid today? And to be quite honest with you, years ago, I didn't even think about this. I didn't think about where my electricity came from, right? I just said, well, I know how to flip on the switch and I know how to plug something in. That's all that I need to know. But here is the simple reality. We are burning massive amounts of carbon and putting it up into the air. Our main source of energy comes from what we call dirty energy. It comes from digging up either coal or oil or gas and burning it and putting it into the air. And you have to think for a moment, what is the impact on us and on our society as a result of doing that? Now, the reality is all of the data and everything around is showing that our CO2 output has reached a non-sustainable threshold. It's no longer safe anymore. We passed the 340 or 350 parts per million years ago, and unfortunately, we've been racing towards unseen and just incredibly bad CO2 outcomes. So you have to ask yourself this: if that's been our current reality, what's going to happen when the rest of the world comes online? Right now the U.S. has 319 million people, and we're simply 1/8 the size of China and India. And guess what? China and India are about to go through the same growth that we went from the 50s to now, and they're going to do it in 1/10 of the time. So when you put that kind of strain on our world, guess what's going to happen? So as Jonathan mentioned before, with great challenge comes great opportunity, and that, my friends, is why we are now about to make one of the biggest shifts as a species that we've ever seen before.
It's absolutely the time for critical leadership in the energy landscape, both on an individual level, inside of our communities, and as nation states. And I believe this is a time when individuals just like you and just like me and Jim and all the other people, on the hundreds of people who are on this line tonight, have a chance to really be a leader in their communities and a leader in their friends' lives and people's lives and in your own life, helping to facilitate this shift to a sustainable energy future. And what's amazing about this is that it essentially can't be stopped. It's already irreversible. Let me explain. So what the world really needs to understand is that we're exiting a commodity-based paradigm where for the last 100 years, 150 years, we've been digging up commodities, coal, oil, gas, and burning them to create our energy, which has literally made possible modern industrial society. Every single thing that we have and that we are today has been made possible because of our energy technologies. But the paradigm that we've been living under has been one of scarcity. If you really think about it, it's scarcity. We know that there's only so much of these commodities. And because of that, you're always talking, well, don't leave the lights on and be careful with this and be careful of that, because we know that eventually we're going to run out of them. And if we don't have a solution, if we have not figured out another way to power our lives, then we're going back to the Stone Age, ladies and gentlemen. And the Stone Age cannot support the current population of the world today. So that's a non-option. Now, if you contrast that to the paradigm that we're moving into, It's completely self-evident. We're moving into a technology paradigm. We're exiting a commodity paradigm and moving into a technology. Whoops, I just lost you guys for a second. My mic, I got too passionate. My mic unplugged. So I'm just going to pick right back up where I left off. So we're moving into a technology paradigm, and here's what that means. Every single year, technologies get better and better and better. It's this thing called Moore's Law. And if you look at solar today, it's a technology. We're using technology to capture sunlight and turn that sunlight into energy. And if you look at the last 40 years since solar was invented, we went from $100 a watt. To create a watt of electricity, it cost $100. Down in 2015 to dollars. We've seen a 1,000-fold reduction in the cost of energy from technologies, and that's only going to get better and better and better and better. Every single year, it's going to get cheaper and more efficient. That's the nature of technology. So the writing is really on the wall. It is impossible, it is inevitable that the world will be powered by sustainable energy technologies. And that's why what we're sharing with you tonight is such a compelling opportunity. Now, there's another component of this conversation we should chat about. You know, for a long time now, global fossil fuel jobs have been disappearing. You know, if we want to rebuild the American economy and the global economy, and we want to create high-paying jobs, the way to do it is with new energy technologies. What the graph that you're looking at right now is the global coal workforce since 1985, or actually the United States coal workforce since 1985, to where it is today. And in just the last 30 years, over half of the workforce of the coal industry is gone. Now, at the same time, if you look at solar, solar is up to 240,000 Americans currently having high-paying jobs working inside the solar industry. That's more than double how many people are working in coal. Solar's growing 12 times faster than the national job average, and we're only creating 1 to 2% of U.S. energy production. Think about how many people are going to earn their living from the solar industry by helping our society create sustainable, renewable energy powered by technologies as this technology really comes to scale. There will be millions and millions of people who earn their livelihoods and create their wealth inside of the solar industry. Now, what's driving all of this is what we call zero-down solar. Ladies and gentlemen, this is simple economics. This is an economic conversation, okay? It is now more cost-effective to get your energy from solar panels than it is from a utility in over 70% of the United States population. 70% of the United States population. And most people have this conception of solar that it's expensive, right? And that's just simply not true anymore. In fact, today, not only is solar cheaper to produce than all the other forms of energy for over 70% of the US population, but you don't even have to buy your panels anymore. You don't even have to finance them. There's so many different financing options, which has led a revolution for solar energy across the United States. A homeowner can nowadays, they have 5 different ways that they can pay absolutely nothing out of pocket. Get those solar panels installed in their home. Begin saving money instantly. Increase the value of their home. Have an asset that produces electricity on top of their roof, and they own their own energy. They're no longer dependent on a monopoly utility. You know, you can control your own energy. You're energy independent, which is, I think, a huge deal. It represents this shift that's happening from centralized to decentralized. We don't need to depend on the centralized powers anymore. They don't need to centralize our wealth. Our energy can be our own wealth, and we can be in control of it, we can be in charge of it, and we can be independent. And solar represents all of these things. And if you look at where we're at today, there's less than 2% of the marketplace installed. Literally less than 2%. Yet 90 million U.S. homes qualify. 90 million U.S. homes qualify. By the end of the next decade, in fact less, every single home in this country that currently has a roof or some shading area of their yard or property facing sunlight could easily be powered by solar energy through what we're sharing with you today. Through a financing vehicle that allows them to get solar for zero down so that they can instantly start saving money on their electricity bills and then never pay for energy again once their financing is paid off. We're talking 90 million homes over the next decade that this is how they're going to get their energy. And ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the most exciting and compelling opportunities to do something with our lives and to create extra income or a business or an entrepreneurial venture that allows us to really, achieve the goals that we've set out for our own lives in ways that I'm not sure has ever existed before. And this is the time when we introduce you to the new power grid. Just like we showed you how technology facilitated the sharing of a ride so that you could make money, or the sharing of a room so that you could make money, we have built the technology platform that facilitates the sharing of energy, distributed energy, so that you can make money. And that's what we call the power grid and the power platform. And I think, in fact, I think this is the best way to describe it. It's really the world's first distributed energy services platform. We have built an unprecedented network of the best solar providers across the country. And pretty soon this is going to be across the world, because our vision at Powur is not just to operate in our own backyard. We want an energy model that affects every single human being on this planet. Anywhere the sun is shining, that should be a chance for you to make money. If the sun is shining, I want you to have the chance to make money. So we have a strategy, and we devised a platform that allows us to integrate and partner with any solar provider across the planet right now. And our platform facilitates you being able to refer customers and refer people who want cheaper, cleaner energy so that they can save money, make money, be in control of their power, and not have it cost them a thing to do it. We allow you to refer anybody you know through this platform to get those benefits, and our network of providers across the country and soon to be the world handles all of the fulfillment. Simply put, we have Uberized solar energy for the first time, and it's ridiculously simple. This is how it works. Step number one, you refer homeowners to a free solar consultation. How simple is it to go to somebody and say, hey, how would you like to save thousands of dollars on your energy bill? Who's going to say no to you? How would you like to save thousands of dollars on your energy bill? Well, here's your next step. Evaluate zero down solar for your home with one of our leading providers and determine for you if it makes economical sense. But for most people, they're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars. Some people are going to save tens of thousands of dollars. We've had people, customers of ours, save over $100,000 over the lifetime of their contract just by signing a piece of paper. So step number one is that you enter a zip code into the Powur platform of any homeowner that you're talking to, and that's going to pull up a list of all the providers in that area which are servicing that territory. Step number two is that you get to select your provider. So you can look at which providers are paying you the most money, which have the highest conversion rates, whatever it might be, and you select the provider that you want to send that customer to. Step number three, you actually get paid when your homeowner has their zero down consultation. So just for evaluating solar, just for even looking at whether it's a good fit for their home, you can make money. And you make even more money when they make the decision to go solar. And when they make the decision to go solar, they never worry about a thing. Our providers handle everything from the installation, the permitting, the paperwork, the financing. All our customers ever do is literally evaluate the proposal, determine that it's going to make tons of financial sense for them to do it, and sign a piece of paper. And once that's done, we handle everything else, and you can get paid great to do it. Step number 4, you actually get to see your impact on the world. Every single time you switch a homeowner to solar energy, you are removing, on average, 4,000 pounds of carbon from our atmosphere every month. Think about the global impact that you can have just by switching a homeowner to solar, and we track all of that. And you're literally going to be able to show people, here's how much CO2 I've prevented from going into our atmosphere. Step number 5, here's where it gets really interesting. You can help us crowdsource the new grid. We are building the new decentralized clean energy grid to power our planet. And we're doing it person to person to person as we share solar energy through the Powur platform. Now, when you build your own grid inside our platform, you make money off all the solar energy that's being referred throughout your entire grid. And you can even make money off all the appointments and everything else. We've built an unparalleled revenue plan that pays you for helping to shift the world to solar energy and refer people to our platform. That's all you got to do. Hey, check out this platform. You might be really interested in this, in something like this. And you can actually earn a passive income forever based off all the activity of the people inside your grid. And step number 6 is that you monetize the energy revolution. Powur is single-handedly the first platform that gives individuals the chance to monetize the disruption and the decentralization of the largest industry on the planet. We are going to create the energy revolution. This is happening with or without you. It can't be stopped. It's inevitable. It's economics and it's just sense. Trillions of dollars are going to change hands. And if you've wanted to change your life and create some amazing income and have some amazing impact, our platform is the way to do it. So, I know I just shared a lot, so take that in for a second, take a breath and just soak that up. Obviously, you know, you can feel the passion in our voices. You know we're excited about what we're doing. And I want to walk you through a little bit of how the economics in the Powur revenue plan actually work and give you something even to get even more excited about. So when you start a business with Powur, you have a one-time platform license cost of $4.99. Now that platform license literally puts you in business with your own energy business that you can scale across the country forever. Okay, so you have an entire enterprise software platform that's going to connect you to any provider in any market across this country that we're doing business, and it manages everything for you. That's one-time $4.99. Now I'm going to show you how you can go out and focus on nothing but referring a few customers to the platform and actually make thousands of dollars just by referring a few customers to the platform. So the first bonus we have is the appointment bonus. Now in this example, if you were to set 15 appointments and refer 15 people just to have a consultation, you would actually make $251 just for doing that. And that's a blend across all the different types of appointment revenue we have. In theory, you could make a lot more than that because certain appointments pay more than others. And all of this is explained inside the Powur revenue plan. Now, when you become a certified advisor in Powur, and what that means is you've referred your first 5 appointments. So if you've referred 5 people to have a zero-down solar appointment, you make a $200 bonus. So just for referring 5 people to have an appointment, you make $200. Now, when you make 3 installs, every single time you refer somebody who turns into an install, you get paid based on the size of the system that they have and on the revenue tier of the market that they're in. So this is just, again, an average example, but you can make a lot more money or less depending on the size of the system that they purchase and what market that system is in. But here's what's really cool. When you've referred your 3rd customer to Powur, we're going to pay you a Players Club bonus of $2,000. So you can make $2,000 as a bonus check just for going and referring 3 people who want to save money on their electric bill today, pay nothing out of pocket. So what do you think? Do you know 3 people who want to save thousands of dollars on their energy bill, who want to own their own energy, who want to have an asset on their roof that increases their home value? Do you think you might have 3 people who are interested in that? If you refer 3 people, this is what you can make. Now, moving on to a passive income illustration example, if you were to refer 10 people to our platform, and those 10 people, all they focused on was talking to 1 homeowner a week, do you think you might be able to talk to 1 person a week who wants to save thousands on their energy bill, have it not cost them $1 out of their pocket, have it increase their home value, and have them produce their own energy? Well, if you referred 10 people to our platform who did that, you could make $16,247 a year in passive income. Now, obviously, these are illustration examples only. We're not guaranteeing income because all of the income that you earn is a result of what you produce. Powur is simply the platform that makes this all possible, right? But, of course, you have to go out there and produce it to earn it. So we're not guaranteeing income. But if you referred 10 people to the platform who set 1 appointment a week, you could earn $16,247 a year passively from 10 people. Now, to give you a larger example, let's say that you really wanted to, create a different type of career. Or let's say you were really looking to start your own business, or you're tired of your job, you're sick of your job, and this might be something that you want to do full time. Well, if you wanted to engage with us at a leadership level, if you just went out and built a team over 6 generations and showed that team how to, each partner sponsored 3 people, and that duplicated for 6 generations, obviously you can see here that there's a whole lot of income available through our platform. In this particular example, with the team that duplicated of 3 advisors just through 6 generations, there's annual income possibilities close to $600,000. So again, we're not guaranteeing any income, and obviously you know that this is, not an easy thing to do. This is something that you would really have to want to do, but wherever you fit on the scale, whether it's just talking to some homeowners and referring them to solar energy, or whether it's referring some people to our platform and creating a passive income, or whether it's wanting to be one of the leaders of the energy revolution and go out there and tell every single person you know about this and build a huge organization and create financial freedom for yourself. Whatever your goals are, we actually have a plan for you at Powur. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our president, Jim Bunch, to talk about how this is just the beginning.
The great thing about what Jonathan's talking about here is the opportunity is yours, but I want to reiterate something, that the simple reality is this: you don't have to become a solar expert. You don't have to become a technology expert, just like you don't have to understand how the inner workings of Uber or Airbnb works. You simply have to use the platform to connect this person to that person. Remember we said that, Airbnb is a really simple platform. They connect somebody who has a place to stay with somebody who wants a place to stay. What does Uber do? They connect somebody who wants a ride with somebody who has a ride. And what our technology is going to do is connect people who want solar with providers who offer solar. So that's the first conversation. And with Zero Down Solar, this is a no-brainer. I mean, if you were to tell somebody today that you could have clean energy instead of dirty energy, pay less for it every single month, and you could potentially save $25,000 to $100,000 over the next 20 years. I mean, think about that. $25,000 is a car for most people. $100,000 is a lot of money. That's a college education for most people. So think about this for a moment. You're helping somebody go clean energy. You're helping somebody save money, and you're putting yourself in position to be in front of one of the largest trends that our planet is going to see. And solar panels are just the first thing, because guess what? Everybody who goes solar wants to know if they can have the batteries. They start switching their homes to LED bulbs. They start relooking at their HVAC systems and, of course, their efficient water heaters. So across the board, we are seeing a retooling of America and of the rest of the world. You know, just last week I was reading some of the stats about the National Association of Realtors. There were 5 million homes sold in the United States last year. The first-time buyers' age of that home was 1971. So when they purchased the homes, the average was 1971. Repeat buyers, the average age of the home was 1974. That's 5 million homes that are looking at upgrading and you know, changing their homes. So the simple reality is that everything is changing, and we need to make sure that you're in position to win. So that's exactly what Powur is going to do. And my friends, this is no small vision. We have a massive vision to accelerate the adoption of solar energy across the world, not just the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia, China, India. The whole world is moving to clean energy. And we're on a mission right now to help 2 million homes go solar by 2025. Think about that. That is less than 10 years. And what that's going to do is that's going to transfer $2 billion to our partners and our advisors. As we retool America, as we retool the world, and we shift the world from burning fossil fuels to clean energy, there is going to be a massive transfer of wealth. And so think about that. Where in your life are you going to have something that's going to align with your purpose, is going to have you have such a huge impact on the planet, and you have the opportunity to create an amazing, amazing income. So here's the simple reality is every single one of us has an opportunity, and this is a huge wave.
You know, there's those moments in our lives where you've got to be at the right place at the right time, and you just can't control that or create that if you really want to be able to ride a wave that knocks it out of the park financially for you forever. And, you know, we've all seen how those waves have happened, you know, overnight. You know, cell phones just seem to exist, and, you know, people have made billions of dollars off being, you know, positioned in front of that properly. Overnight, you know, some of the largest companies in the world, Apple and Microsoft, were all spawned because they were positioned in front of the adoption of computers and computer technology. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that we made the case tonight that sustainable energy technologies are inevitable. They're going to continue to get cheaper every single year, and commodities cannot compete. They're going to get more expensive every single year. And it was really Everett Rogers who popularized this graph you're looking at and this theory around how technologies get adopted. And what he showed was that the first wave of adopters are what he calls the innovators. You know, those are the people who adopt a technology even when it doesn't make sense. They just want to do it because it's the coolest, newest thing, and they love it, and they know it's going to be the future. It doesn't make any financial sense for them. Those were the people who bought, you know, computers in like 1970, whatever, when it had the computing power of a you know, less than a calculator. And then comes the early adopters. Those are the people, once a technology's gotten further and further and further, where it makes sense now, right? It makes financial sense. There's a lot of usefulness. There's things you can do with it. But you know, it hasn't been proven to everybody yet. But they're the early adopters. They don't need somebody else to prove it to them. They recognize for themselves that it makes sense, and they adopt it. But then you have the early majority. And these people, they don't do anything unless somebody else has proven to them that it's safe and that, you know, somebody's gone before them. Even if it makes total financial sense, unless somebody's proven to them that it's safe, they won't adopt it. Well, right now, we are crossing the chasm of the early adopter phase. Every single thing about zero-down solar makes absolute sense. In fact, you kind of have to be a moron after you look at the proposal to not do it. Who would want to spend more money for dirty energy that they don't control when you could spend less money for clean energy that you control and have it be an asset that you own? You kind of have to be crazy not to do it, right? So we're crossing that chasm right now. But here's the amazing thing. Why did it seem like overnight everybody had a cell phone or everybody had a computer? The first cell phone was introduced in the market in 1979. But it didn't seem like everyone had a cell phone until 2002, 2003, 2004, and all of a sudden it was just boom. Here's why. Because once you get to 10% of a population adopting a technology, it rockets to 50% of the population as fast as it got to 1. That's this wave that you're looking at right here. And that's what we are heading into right now. And that's why in less than a decade, we could see the entire early majority and late majority of users across the country adopt solar technology, because we are right at that chasm right now. We are right about to hit early majority. This is a multi-trillion-dollar transfer of wealth that you have the chance to be in front of with a first-of-its-kind platform to facilitate the sharing of clean, distributed solar energy. And everyone has a role to play. If you're on this line tonight, I assure you, you have a role to play. Are you using energy to watch this? Yes, you are. And right now, that energy is probably dirty. It's probably dumping carbon into our atmosphere that is impacting our future generations. And it's probably also contributing to the old model of an economy. Why not build a new, wealthier economy through sustainable energy and clean up our world and protect our environment for future generations right now? That's why I say everyone has a role to play. So step number 1 is go solar. Get back to who invited you to this webinar and get a quote from one of our leading providers across the country. And let's see how much money we can save you by switching to zero down solar today. Step number 2 is partner up. Join us on this mission to go transform how the world produces and consumes energy. And step number 3 is get paid, okay? Get paid. Just by sharing this conversation with others, you can make extraordinary income by referring people just to get an appointment, just to evaluate solar for their home. And by referring other people to our platform, you can create a passive income that gives you more freedom and flexibility to do the things that you want to do in life. My friends, this is absolutely the time to join us on this incredible mission to go out there and create your personal life, financial goals, and income goals, and impact goals. Leave your legacy for the future of our world and get paid great to do it. Don't procrastinate. Take advantage of the offer that we have on the table tonight to save $100 that's going away at midnight. Get back to the person who invited you here if you've got any more questions. And we thank you so much for coming and attending tonight's webinar and playing your role in the disruption and decentralization of the largest industry in the world. Mr. Jonathan Budd and Jim Bunch signing off. Have an amazing evening, and we'll see you soon.